some mini horror films. There's one that was popping up before. Okay, here we go. Here's one about a mime. I'm here for it. It's very short.
Hi.
Called The Mime. What?
Is that you doing that?
This don't exist.
Hello? Sorry, I have a train to catch. Neat trick, by the way.
Getting hit by the train. Don't make that face. I think I'm just like ruined because I thought that she was gonna grab her fucking own boob for a second. I was like, what the fuck? I think I'm just worried something's going to happen. She just can't help it. The mime is in the
Come on, move.
It's gonna make her jump in front of the train.
How are you doing?
Yeah, wouldn't the mime get hit too? I don't understand. Damn. Gonna get germs from that. That's kind of clever for a little 3-minute movie. Little 3 minutes. I don't like that kind of apple though. Didn't sound like it was very ripe either. It sounded like kind of like orish. I don't know. Wormy. The word I'm looking for. Meaty. No. I don't know. Mealy. Thank you. Yeah, mealy.
Bear punch.
too meaty. How many of these do you think? Dude, I watched a movie the other day. Fuck, I can't remember what it is now. Oh, I meant to write it down. There was legit 13 of these fucking things at the very, very beginning. It was like ba 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 da 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 da. I was like, is this gonna stop? I'll have to like go back through what I watched the other night. It's like a fucking joke or something. Production companies. This is called Downstairs. About a security guard. I guess it could have been VHS 94 or something like that because there's so many mini movies in it. I guess they would all be made by different people. It kind of makes sense. Dude hanging himself. Just saying, maybe you don't want to see that. Obviously, it's a movie, so it's not real.
Use the rope. Kill yourself. Kill yourself.
This is kind of fucked up. Downstairs. This is just the premise, though, for a movie story that I really like. Where it's like security guard seeing like weird things at night. But I mean, how many times is it like haunted because someone obviously killed themselves? That's usually the story.
You must be new, Officer Flip.
What the
Been here a
fuck?
couple weeks.
Really? What happened to the black lady?
Rhonda? She's
Officer
here today.
Flip.
Baby, you're being boorish.
I'm sorry. I'm Orfeo, and this
Closure.
is my wife, Danu.
Thank you for that Prime Gaming.
And you're Officer Flip.
Yes, I am.
So, now that we're friends, can I ask you an itsy-bitsy little favor?
Sure. Yeah, what do you need?
I'm working on a piece, Flip. It could be nothing, it could be
What the
start
fuck
of a
is
series.
happening here?
I don't know.
It's stunning.
I'm starting with the image of a kitten. His eyes are filled with inquisitiveness, but he's dying because the earth is dying. We are dying.
Everyone.
I'm dying.
He's dying.
She's dying.
Constantly.
Aren't you dying? Tonight? I'm calling it Curiosity
What did you just say?
Killed the cat.
You.
The reason
This
why I'm
lady
telling you
sucks
this
so
is
much. Look at
because
her
Today, when I
face
was
she's making. I
painting,
hate
was
that.
Just about to get to that dying part when I smelled something dying. You know what it was?
It was awful.
It was trash. Not a lot of trash.
Why is she
Flip,
making that face?
But just enough trash for the smell to make me completely lose my inspiration
Ugh.
for like 3 hours.
We can't risk losing inspiration.
I am sorry. Okay. You know what? I remember.
It looks like Jensen
seeing paper in
Ackles
your
with
hand.
like
I do.
a mustache.
I don't know if you remember.
But also bigger.
Last night, toilet in the ladies' room backed up. Somebody put something down there they shouldn't have. It was a real mess. And I started this new book, and I figured, given the small amount of waste in your basket, that maybe I should just wait till tonight to take it out. Conserve the trash bag. Right? Because let's face it, plastic is one of those reasons the earth is dying.
What is this delivery though?
Well,
It's like I'm watching aliens talk to
can
each
you at
other.
least make sure our door is fucking locked? It was wide open when we got here.
I think the audio is really bad too, like the echo.
Anybody else? Okay then.
The old timey music. Yeah, that scene was so bad.
Hello?
Where are they filming this? This is bizarre. He just locked the door? Why is there like just random paint there? Huh? Well, that's what they were complaining about, right? There being a smell.
Did you forget the stick you usually keep up your ass? Hello? Hello? Fucking vagrants. Somebody there?
You really do the backup thing? I guess it's like a studio apartment complex.
All right, man. I got better things to do tonight.
I'm guessing. The way it's set up, it looks like it was like an old industrial building. That's the only thing I can guess.
What the fuck was that?
This guy's acting. Oh no.
Hello?
What the fuck was that? When you like, you don't have to make the sniffing sound. You know what I mean? Like, you could sniff without like, you just inhale. I don't know. It seems like such a weird. We don't know how to show that it smells, so you have to really sniff. Even though we were just doing the internal monologue thing a moment ago. Yeah, but
All right,
that's
kid.
not
I will totally
everybody.
freaking club your ass. Stop fucking around.
There's ways you could show smell in things without having someone like do that. You know what I mean?
There's no one allowed down there.
And they already did. Like, they already established it, I think. I don't know. I just thought it was funny that he was doing that for like
Die down there. I'm gonna be
2
so
minutes.
pissed.
If someone died down there, I'm going to be so pissed. Yeah, just put some stink lines in.
I'm not kidding, man. I will totally fuck you up. Now, if you just come with me up the stairs, out of the dark, I promise, no harm will come to you.
The way he's saying this is so weird. With me upstairs, singing a song. The way he's walking is so funny too.
All right, that's fucked up. Use the rope.
What do you mean? You're the guard with the key. Oh my god. Wow, really exerting. Acting.
Okay, dude. It's just a dark room. A really fucking dark room. With the news. There's gotta be another way out.
Security guard gets locked in the basement. I guess no cell phones yet. Flip Shrubbers. I saw it. Do you see it?
I can't find my ball.
You're way too old to be playing with a ball. It's the hard knock life for us. It's the hard knock life for us. Why are they all like little girls and stuff? Treated we get kicks. That guy looked kind of cool. That little hop. The Hangman. The fucking Undertaker. Completely different fucking camera lens. shot quality is like completely different. I guess it's just be real, so that's kind of the idea. So that looks completely different.
This kills me.
What the fuck?
Don't worry, my friend. Death is not the end.
What? Why is he talking to the cat? The box lit near brothers? In the box. That was called Downstairs. That wasn't as cool as I thought it was going to be. What's in the box? What's this one? The Pumpkin Man.
So, whose house are we going to do next? I don't know.
Is that a minion? Oh.
All out of eggs and only have one roll of toilet paper.
Damn, that sucks. I have to take a
Why
huge
do you have a
shit.
pumpkin? I stole it from somebody's yard.
Gonna need more toilet paper than that.
What? I saw Sarah did it.
Yeah, we shouldn't have gone to Taco Bell.
Where's Sarah? She was right behind us. What was that? Abby, get back here! You two are nothing but a couple of scaredy cats. Want to see something cool? Wait! What? Claire? Aren't you worried about the Pumpkin Man? Are you kidding me? That's a story they tell kids on Halloween to scare them. Who's the Pumpkin Man? Pumpkin Man watches over all the carved pumpkins. And on Halloween
Who's the
night,
Pumpkin Man?
he carries their spirits away to the underworld.
Who's the G-Man?
But if you smash a jack-o'-lantern before midnight on All Hallows Eve, then the Pumpkin Man will take you away in its place. Hey, Claire.
Pumpkin Man, Pumpkin Man.
Oops. Whatever, you guys will be sorry. It's just a kid's tale. Can you believe her?
A kid's tale.
Abby?
She's dead already. She like just dead. Instantly fucking dead.
Abby? Abby? Claire? If that's you two messing with me right now, I swear.
Damn, that's how they get you. That's cool. Green smoke. What do you think the green smoke means? What does the green smoke represent? This one looks weird. The sky has a cool thumbnail. The pumpkin man just fucking dank. He's got the dank. It looks cool. Looks.
Okay.
Are they
Never have I ever
drinking some wine?
been to France.
You know I have.
Never have I been to France and seen the
Okay, this is
underpants.
gonna be easy. Never have I ever shoplifted.
Okay.
Is it just never have I
I got
ever
one.
for fucking
Never
10
have I
minutes?
ever eaten an avocado.
Now you're taking the piss. You've definitely had an avocado before.
No, that's not my scene.
They really talk like that?
Never
I don't
have I
believe
ever
that.
had a one-night stand.
Okay, I have one. Never have I ever tried shrooms.
Victoria, what are you doing?
Just
I
mushrooms.
thought they might distract us.
Shiitake.
I can't believe it's actually happening. Never have
Can't believe you've done
I
this.
so scared.
Me neither. Oh,
Delicious. Yeah, wash it down with some fucking wine.
ugh, it's gross.
Well, now of course they're gonna see some weird shit. Immediately tripping.
Ellie, I need to tell you. I wish I could go back and change what I did. I ruined everything between us. I'm so sorry.
Immediately?
You're my little girl. I can't be away from you today. I'm coming to the pier. Please wait for me. If I don't make it in time, just know that I love you.
Shit.
What is it?
It's my mum.
What?
She's left the house and she's gonna come look for me.
Wait, where are you going?
Well, she thinks I'm somewhere else and I can't leave her alone today.
Why not? She doesn't give a shit about you.
Yeah, I
Ellie.
know, but she's my mum and I can't leave her alone like this.
Okay, but a mum doesn't kick out her daughter every time she has a new boyfriend.
Look, why don't you
Every
come with me?
time.
It's too late. I mean, look.
Let's just stay here together.
Let's
We're
just
each
sit in
other's
this
family,
storm.
remember?
Yeah, good idea. This seems like fucking brilliant. Fucking brilliant. In an open field. I have transcended our physical reality. Is someone gonna get hit by lightning?
Are you okay?
I feel really weird. Can I have some water?
Yeah. it will feel like really good soon. I mean, yeah, whatever.
The portal's opening. The dark portal.
It is pretty amazing. The sky is beautiful.
The nether is opening.
I'm glad I stayed.
Obviously something bad has to happen though. The whole formula.
I mean, the pier's too far away anyways.
Yeah, I was thinking the pier.
What's wrong?
Like, it doesn't look like they're anywhere near water. I don't know.
How do you know where my mum's going?
I don't.
What
Ellie.
did you do?
I'm sorry. I knew she was gonna try and find you.
Oh my god!
I killed her.
What are you doing? Stop! Get the fuck away from me!
Damn. Shit turned quick.
I'm sorry, Ellie. Ellie, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Ellie.
Puking while you're tripping just like makes it worse though. You're not like getting rid of anything. Not that I would know.
Wait, where are you going? Wait.
Why are they fighting? I don't really know. She just like said that she knew her mom wanted to see her. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know. Oh, it's a tornado? What?
Ellie! Wait! I'm sorry, Ellie! Ellie! I'm so sorry. Ellie!
Something weird better happen.
Ellie.
Yeah, and the forest is strangely like calm. Like there's no wind. Look how still everything is. There's just a giant storm approaching. I guess the mushrooms could explain everything though. Oh, like the world was ending. I see what you're saying. Literally, the world was ending. Damn. What the fuck? Why though? Let's see if I can find out anything else about that. Yeah, the world is ending, it says. I thought they were just chilling. Fair enough. Why was the world ending? Who did it? The machines?
Thelma Lookout, evening check-in.
I like the setup for this. The watchtower.
Copy that, Toma. Sweet dreams.
Spooky. Yeah, I guess like the Earth was literally like exploding. I don't know, some kind of explosion. Oof, very harsh audio. Could be cool though. Turn down a bit. Not harsh in a bad way, just more active sounding. Sounds like a machine.
Toma to base, did you send someone up here?
Yeah, another short film.
Please, can anybody hear me? I need help.
This is Toma Lookout.
I'm lost. I can't. I think there's something out here.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Are the violins there? She looked up when the violin started. I thought that it kind of sounded like they were like in the room. Yeah, this is a cool setting so far. Location's really neat too. A lot of cool camera shots.
Hello? Hello? Is anybody out there?
Why don't she like bring anything with her? The only cryptid I believe in is Jesus. Is it literally a spider web? What? Walking into the Mistlands. Yeah, I don't think I'd be continuing my walk.
Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Hello, I'm trying to get my shit bit by a spider.
I can hear you.
What's your location? Where are you?
It's a spider lady.
I don't know where. I'm so
What if it's like fucking what's her name?
help.
Spider siren? That's kind of a cool idea. Spider siren lady. She's trying to like beckon for her help and she's just gonna eat her. I wasn't expecting that. I was like some X-Files looking shit.
Help. Please, can anybody hear me? I need help.
That was cool. A little too short. I was getting into that. The lookout. Yeah, I like that one. I like the setting for anything like that. All right, this one's called Creature. Creature. Be quiet. Her husband just turned into boxes. Yeah, look at the coffee cup. Honey, do you want your pee? Thanks. Thanks for the pee. Let me brew you some pee.
I got it.
I've had this pee brewing all night.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
Work?
Everything is fine.
When will you be home?
Early.
Is this fucking shirt not even like? Be faucet. You know what that means. This camera angle's so bad. That was funny looking at me. It like looks so awkward. The house is alive. This is alive. bathroom doesn't look very... That looks like a half bathroom. We'll just make sure there's no, There we go. Bad boobs. We good though. It was a tasteful bath before dinner. Damn. Is it too quiet still? Music's very quiet. Having like this set up though for you to walk in the door is a little stressful to me. It's like, well, I'm not hungry yet. Well, a nice thought. Yeah, the audio is weird for this one. I think it's old. This motherfucker isn't even home yet. Go get McDonald's. Oh, yeah, it does kind of look like it's this box of stuff like he got fired, huh? Could be just that they're moving though, and it's a box of stuff, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm gonna deal with that shit after this new job sucks. Or losing your job and all is shitty thing. That looked not real at all. It was weird. Yeah, that looks like a pretty big cut. Like, you would have to definitely get stitched up. Like, probably need to be in the hospital. What? Why is she whispering? Fucking Undertale skeleton looking motherfucker. Wait, now he's in the house, but you're outside? What was that sound? Also, this quality is...
Please pick up. Please pick up.
Yeah. Very compressed looking. Me at least.
Brooke?
Peter? Oh my god, where are you?
I'm upstairs.
Okay, Peter, you have to listen to me, okay? There's something in the house. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's in the house.
It looks like it's like a light up.
Wait. What is this?
Something. I don't know. I can't describe it. I'm locked in the backyard. I need you to come outside.
Brooke, look, I don't know what this is, okay? I can't deal with this right now. It's late, and there's just something I need to talk to you about, okay?
Fuck no, Peter. For once, please just listen. Please just fucking listen to me. It's gonna kill you, please.
Okay.
God, okay.
Can you be like slightly concerned if someone called you and said there's someone in the house about to kill you? Oh, I just hit my fucking funny bone, my knee.
Get downstairs. Come through the dining room and the living room. You need to be quick, Peter, but whatever you do, don't make.
Why are you calling me?
I'm at the back door. Turn into the kitchen. Okay, Peter, walk slowly. Do you see me? Peter, walk faster.
Made him like walk right into it. Also, that thing looks goofy as fuck. Like some Star Trek villain shit.
Peter!
We'll never know if he got fired or not. Now she goes in? Why is she walking like crawling? What the fuck are you doing? I decided to crawl back in and crawl around. It looks like they bought the flesh parasite demon from X-Files. Like from the studio before they like melted it or something. And they're like, no, we'll buy that. Yeah, the thing that was in the sewer. Oh, this guy's actually alive? It looks like he bit his shirt. Like, how about we call the cops? Like, what the fuck just happened? I didn't know anyone was in this house. I'm sorry.
Hey, whatever happens, I promise I...
Hey, be home by 7 and let me know how it all goes, okay?
The fuck is going on? Pink outside. It's just the fucking wife's monster boyfriend. August Williams as the creature. The first comment, wow, this is deep. Sometimes men feel the fear that they will disappoint the wives, so they tend to be aloof and withdraw. And the creatures just help them connect again. What? There's another mime horror movie? What the fuck? How many mime horror movies are there? What the I don't know if we all get the same thing out of that. And the monster's like, yeah, just doing my job. I'm just here to help. I'm just here to give you a hand. The fuck is this? Cake Man? No. Okay, this one looks fucked up. Oh yeah, that is really loud. What the fuck? Hey, looking in the ocean is loud. I suppose. But yeah, the audio is all over the fucking place tonight. Still pretty loud. I think it'll get quiet soon enough though. Just this imagery is so like oppressive feeling. A little alien-esque. Just like, I mean, another world looking, I mean. I don't even mean Geiger. I just mean like alien world looking structure. Like, what the fuck is it? Yeah, it's just me, I guess. Yeah, it looks like some kind of drainage ditch or something almost, right? The bottom of a reservoir or something like that. Maybe the intake for like a cooling, for like a nuclear power plant or something. Like, why would they show the ocean like that? You know what I mean? It does look like she's kind of wet, right? Could she have gotten like dragged in here by the ocean? Oh yeah. Yeah, you definitely feel it in your legs. What if it's just like a 2-foot drop into the hole, though? There's just like nothing. Like, oh, you just walk out. I guess her leg looks like it's pretty fucked, though. Ugh. That ketchup is looking pretty chunky. You know, like when you leave ketchup out in the sun for a while, then you open the cap and it's like all like stuck together like that. That's what it looks like. Yeah, it's Sweet Baby Ray's. You don't get the ketchup crust as much anymore because I think it's because they changed the formula so much, but little ketchup discharge never hurt anybody. I mean, did kill one person, but oh, it's because of the nozzle. Yeah, so none of it like comes out. I guess I can see what you mean. See what you mean. Her leg must be broken. Maybe not, though. Yeah, it's got to be broken. I mean, you can move your leg like that if you're kind of little, like, dexterous, I guess. It's not as bad as that fucking James Franco movie, though. The credit card cutting. Or it's just the other side. What if gravity's just messing with her? Maybe it's just a bunch of candy down there. Looks like the wall's like bleeding. The fuck? multiple people's. The sound design is fucking crazy. That's not good. Down, down to Goblin Town, down, down to Goblin Town. Should have done that fucking 10 minutes ago. Down, down to Goblin Town. Ah, she got out. Yeah, that was pretty insane. Very anxiety inducing. Curve. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Yeah, the waves were just like imagery. Maybe. Or the waves were us. I've already watched through a lot of the ones on this channel I want to watch. Ba-dum-bum. I mean, it's supposed to be like visually pleasing, I think. The aesthetic. There was one in particular that looked kind of cool. I can't find now. All right. Yeah, the chain thing might have worked better, like in your head than it would have in practice. I don't know. Honestly. Yo, Danger Locker. Thank you for that 61 months, dude. Appreciate that. I'm looking for something to watch. But I don't know what the fuck we want to put on here. Guess we could do a Dr. Bob as a fallback here. Two. And we've pretty much worked through all of this too, though. Watched most of these. We watched all of them? I think we might have. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, yeah, we could do some Watcher. I can hit Watcher up in a second. There's one about water slides I just posted that I feel like is...
This video contains content that some might find disturbing. Viewer
Weird.
discretion.
Sounds like a random video to post in November.
Today's
but
episode of Are You Scared is sponsored by Wealthfront.
The fuck is Wealthfront?
One of the best ways to put your money to work for you is to invest in a globally diversified portfolio of low-cost funds. Wealthfront helps you create a portfolio based far away from your target. Free. Put your savings to work. Do you remember the thrill
I don't
of
have any
going
money
down
for
a
that.
water slide
Sorry.
as a child?
Sorry, Ryan.
The fear that morphs into excitement
broke.
as you approach the light at the bottom of the tube? Now imagine that moment when you're in the
stock
tube
money.
concealed in darkness, being endless. Realizing your screams of terror can just as easily be misinterpreted as screams of joy. The proper assignment
I used to be really
of
scared of water
which
slides
will
when
be
I was a kid.
paramount in tonight's story. I'm Ryan Bergara, and this is Are You Scared? Don't look at it.
I looked at it.
The show where I tell my friend Shane Madej the internet's scariest stories. So lock your doors, turn off the lights.
What the
Let's
fuck,
see if we
Ryan?
can make it till the end of the night.
Those two cuts to that one angle is funny.
The whirlwind.
Yeah, the closed ones are spooky. The open ones are
Despite
spooky
the area
too, though.
being covered and
Both
offering
spooky.
some respite, the heat leaked into my clothes and I broke out in a sweat. It was one of the hottest days of summer by far. Unfortunately for me, that meant that Ocean Meadows was absolutely packed from open to close. My summer job as a lifeguard paid well, but sometimes dealing with the bratty kids and their annoying parents just was not worth the dough. What did make it worth it was Savannah Williamson, the coworker I had a crush on.
Ooh, hubba bubba.
Looks like we got ourselves a regular Met cute, because they already met, and it was already cute.
Or a wet cute, as they say around the pool.
The good old wet cute.
The fuck is wrong with you guys?
It's like a meet cute, except wet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Was I not clear?
Ocean Meadows owned 2 slides that
Yeah, I
stood
feel like
side by side.
Water slides
And
were...
Savannah
They're
was
still
the one next
around,
to
but
mine.
more of like an 80s, 90s
My
thing.
slide, known as the Whirlwind, was covered and steep. The other, which Savannah was assigned to,
I know they're still
was
definitely
a less
around, but-
intimidating open slide called the Gulf. Nothing particularly stood out during that morning. The park
it's
opened
2000s.
promptly at 9, and children of all shapes and sizes came barreling through the gates. Savannah and I were stationed at our respective slides. The job was
Yeah,
easy.
it's like an insurance
If the kid
nightmare,
met the height
probably.
requirement, we'd instruct them to lay down with their arms crossed and send them down the slide.
Probably just like, nah.
Allison,
Not
the
insuring you
lifeguard
anymore if you
stationed
build
at the
that.
slide's exit,
Bear back.
made sure the children swam out of the way to safety before another hyperactive child came barreling down.
I was always jealous of lifeguards.
Why? They don't get to go down the slide.
They usually had a whistle just sort of hanging from their lips, and then they just do the.
Yeah, there's something about that too that makes them like more attractive / cool. Like it
Yeah.
adds a layer of that. To
It
the
was
base.
definitely a cool kid thing.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, yeah, they're all cool.
That day, I was halfway through my pretty uneventful shift. Savannah and I made small talk about our weekend plans. I invited her to see a movie with me that Saturday, and to my delight, she blushed and agreed. Yet another teenager went down the whirlwind without a hitch. I watched him emerge with a giant splash, then motioned for the next girl in line to come up. A child, no more than 10, stood waiting for my signal. She came forward, positioned herself in the slide, and looked up at me. It's my first time doing this. I could see the fear in her eyes. I leaned forward. It's okay. It's a lot of fun. But it's dark and scary, and there could be monsters. Nothing bad will happen. And if there were a monster in there, it would have already eaten everyone else up, I joked. Her face remained deadly serious. She stopped to look around her surroundings before whispering to me, not just any monster, the monster. I didn't quite know what she was getting at, but I placed a hand on her shoulder. It can't get you here. You promise? Her eyes looked trusting.
The fuck?
Promise. I held out my pinky and she offered her own, intertwining it with mine. After I let go, she did too. Her
This kid
body
is
fell
never
into
coming out of the water
darkness
slide. They
of
just
the
disappear, I bet.
This may be a nasty thought, but I was thinking it'd be funny if they gave her the go ahead and she starts to go down the tube, and then just right as she pulls out, just to say, "You're gonna die."
Jesus Christ.
So she hears that.
Yeah, that would be a great. You should have been a lifeguard.
I should have. That's what I'm saying.
Then, silence. Not from those waiting in line. They all still buzzed with excitement. No shouts coming from the slide, from the girl. No anything. I looked down at the pool below, and it was crystal clear that the girl hadn't reached the bottom yet. Puzzled, I turned toward Savannah.
Oh yeah, she gone.
Has she come out yet? I asked. Savannah's face filled with confusion, so I clarified. The girl. Have you seen her come out of my slide? Savannah shook her head, looking down at Allison, motioning for the next person in line to come forward. No. Why? She's not out yet. Dude, what's the holdup? A man in line grumbled.
That's me. Hey, can I get on this fucking slide or what?
Hey, dude, I got a corn dog down there waiting for me with my bros. What's going on here? Dude, what's the holdup? A man in line grumbled. I've been waiting for 20
Dude, what's the
minutes.
holdup?
I ignored him. The girl still hadn't appeared at the bottom. I leaned down into the mouth of the slide and yelled, "Hey kid, are you still going down?" No answer. Kid? I called again.
Why just go down?
What are the
He should
odds
go
that
down.
This girl comes out the other end of that slide, or she comes down and it's just like a skeleton, just. Just a skeleton in the same like swimsuit.
It's like some Simpsons shit.
Just arms crossed still.
Yeah.
That's
I
funny.
turned to Savannah. Will you watch my line? Don't let anyone come down. I'm going to ride down and see where she is. Savannah smiled and nodded. I positioned myself.
Yeah, that's
at
what I
the
mean. Like,
slide's
he should go
entrance.
down and check to see
Laying
if
on
she's
my
in there or
back,
not.
I pulled myself forward with my arms. Strangely, I began to hear eerie whispers coming from the people in line right before going down. I careened down the slide's
There's a ghost.
precipitous length.
The ghost
my
of
body
the
being thrown
fucking
left
water
and
slide.
right in the darkness. I did my best to keep my eyes peeled for the girl.
Kind of
but it
reminds me
was
about
useless.
Slide in the
Warm
Woods
water
game.
enveloped the entirety of my body.
It is kind
as
of a
I
spooky
zipped to
idea.
the bottom. I finally exited the slide and flew into the pool, creating a huge splash.
Goosebumps.
Bragger.
You weren't ever that guy at a pool party, were you? When everyone was just chilling.
Well, I didn't like to be nasty about it and splash other people.
Yeah.
But if people were all like, let's see who can make a big splash,
That's different.
Then I'm splashing.
But if I'm eating some poolside chicken tendies, the last thing
I don't want some asshole
is some,
splashing my tendies.
Yeah, soggy tendies, no good.
Get your food away from the fucking pool, then, idiot.
Almost as good as poolside nachos.
Oh, I haven't had that. That does sound messy.
You take those bad boys on the lazy river, They don't like you to do it, but you can usually get almost a full lap with some nachos before they catch you.
You bring nachos into a pool?
I'll do what I want. I'll do
That's
what
so
I want.
nasty.
Disgusting,
Whatever.
dude. I hope someone flips over your
You
inner
just
tube.
keep them on your belly. It's like God's tray.
I immediately locked eyes with Allison. I was about to ask what was taking so long. Why haven't you sent a kid down in like 5 minutes? She asked, clearly annoyed. I did
Where
send
the
one
kids
down,
at? Where you
I
send the
answered,
kids at?
like a 10-year-old girl, but she hasn't come out yet. You're pulling my leg, Allison said. I'm not. She hasn't come out, and that's why I tried to look for her. She's just gone. That got her attention. Fear and realization dawned over Allison's face as she looked at my forehead, and then at the slide behind me.
Look at my forehead. Look
What?
at me.
I asked. Are you bleeding?
Oh.
I don't think so. Your hair and your face, there's blood. With a shaking hand, she pointed at the whirlwind. I whipped around. Gradually, the water began changing into a light pink color. Then, to my horror, a darker pink. Jesus Christ, that's good.
Love it.
That's really good.
So now we're just getting some viscera spewing
That's some
out.
good imagery right there.
Yeah.
The 2 slides were shut down
Yeah.
immediately. Allison radioed our boss, and I raced to help cut the water source. Savannah helped everyone exit the stairs in a somewhat orderly fashion. Panic swept over Ocean Meadows. Allison, Savannah, our supervisor, and 2 other lifeguards joined us at the top of the slides, while an anxious crowd waited below. The once pink water had quickly transformed into a dark crimson. It became clear that the blood was streaming into the pool.
Drop the beat.
The water became impossibly murky, making my stomach ache. All right, listen up, our supervisor yelled. According to Michael, a child went into this slide, she motioned, and never came out. What is she, Rod Serling? Jesus Christ. According to Michael, a child went into this slide and never came out.
I assume they shut down the park at this point?
Well, at least that lagoon. You don't want anybody going down Blood Lagoon. Lazy River, probably fully operational. No one in the lazy river has to know.
Nothing bad ever happens on a lazy river.
And let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
We've shut the water off and a team is working on draining the pool, she continued. We've notified the police to help search for the child, but all of their officers are preoccupied. They said that they would send a patrol car over to investigate as soon as they can. Until then, we need to do everything we can to find this missing child. The supervisor paused, clicking her tongue to the roof of her mouth. We're attempting to locate her parents right now. As if on cue, an ear-splitting scream of a woman echoed from the crowd below. She was frantically repeating a name, it sounded like, and her movements were frantic and jerky. I watched as a lifeguard rushed to her aid. A sinking feeling engulfed my entire body. The woman, unmistakably, was the girl's mother. At that very moment, my supervisor's walkie-talkie crackled to life.
Was she real or not?
The child's
Like,
mother is here with me.
This girl
The
disappear?
man on
Or?
the other end said. She says the girl's name is Lily. As my supervisor answered him, the other lifeguards set out to shut down Ocean Meadows' operations. I heard the blares of a siren coming closer and closer, all because of this girl, Lily. I was the last person to see her, I realized. My supervisor turned to us. Now that it's dry, we need someone to search the slide to see if there's any sign of Lily there.
Now that it's dry.
Without a second thought, I shot up my hand.
It's not hygienic, I don't think, to get in a blood slide.
No.
I like that this guy is putting together that he was the last one who saw her. I'm imagining the mother being like, what were her last words? I'd be like, well, she was afraid the slide would kill her.
Yeah, that's true. And then the last thing I heard was her screaming. My supervisor nodded, then tossed me a flashlight and a walkie-talkie. Savannah squeezed my hand before I began my journey down, and I was off. I methodically inched my body down the slide, doing my best to slow myself when needed. I firmly pressed my palms against the sides of the slide for support. The flashlight beamed up ahead, but so far I saw nothing at all. Then I heard it. Drip, drip, drip. The unmistakable sound of liquid. I came to a complete
Drip,
stop.
drip.
pulling the walkie-talkie from my belt. I pressed the button and radioed my supervisor. I thought you said they turned off the water. A few seconds later, he responded. They did. It's funny how like a water slide seems like such a fanciful kind of free thing until there's no water in it and now it's just a creepy little tunnel.
Just a creepy little tube.
And you have a flashlight beaming down that bad boy.
Yeah.
Looking for a dead kid.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
I loosened my palm's hold on the sides of the slide and slipped down further. Drip, drip, drip. It was steady. Drip, drip, drip. What the hell? It was getting louder. I rounded the next turn. Drip, drip, drip. It was closer. Drip, 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 drip. It came faster now. I carefully rounded the last corner before the slide ran into the pool. And then I saw her.
The fuck?
Yes!
Oh God.
I'm excited.
I do want to know
very curious
what the state of her is.
Yeah. I hope it's sort of a human origami situation.
Jesus.
I want her to be folded up.
That's disgusting. What shape?
Like
a duck?
Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
Well, here we go. There she was. Not on the slide. Somehow on the roof of it. I inched closer. Every part of her body was pinned to the top of the slide. If I moved any closer, I would be directly underneath her. What was left of her, anyway. I could immediately tell that no life remained in her limp body. Her big brown eyes, once filled with sparkle and nervousness from anticipation, were now completely devoid of life.
How?
Dull, bloodshot, bored. I feel like if I were to die at the hands of a slide monster, the last thing my eyes would look like is bored.
Yeah, it's fairly exciting. Not in a positive sense.
No,
it's just, wow, this is exciting. I'm being mutilated by a slide monster. More sort of a, right?
Yeah, dude. That's the look of a kid who realizes he's never going to Disneyland again. Her pale face was ghostly white. Her throat was slit, causing blood to dribble steadily down onto the slide. Bile immediately rose in my throat. I couldn't look away. Drip, drip, drip went her blood.
Keep thinking of that tub thumping song.
But what shocked
by
me most
Chumbawamba
was the strange smile that curved on her lips.
Drip, drip.
It was unnatural, unhuman. I inched forward, and I carefully reached out my hand, trying to figure out how her body was possibly sticking to the roof of the slide like that. As soon as my fingers grazed her forehead, a scream escaped her smiling lips, and she plummeted, face first, directly in front of me. I gasped. My supervisor's voice crackled over the walkie-talkie, but I didn't listen. I watched as Lily slid down the rest of the slide. I swear that before she rounded the final corner, I saw her pick up her head and smile up at me. Her cold, dead eyes remained lifeless as that devilish smile grew wider and wider.
Imagine her, just dead eyes, big smile.
Yeah. I heard the slap of her body as she hit the drained pool's hard cement. The horrified screams followed. I could not bring myself to move an inch. It felt like hours before I gathered the energy to move myself down the slide. After emerging bloodied and terrified, I saw Savannah at the pool's edge. She was crying, and for the first time, I realized that I was too. She wrapped her arms around me, frantically describing the state of the child. I couldn't bring myself to tell her what I had just experienced. That would be the last time I spoke to her. Ocean Meadows closed down for the rest of the season. And the next summer, Ocean Meadows shut down for good. I never once told anyone what I saw, not the police who questioned me that day, nor my friends or family. I didn't want people to know that I felt completely responsible for what happened to Lily. I told her the monster she was petrified of couldn't hurt her. I lured her into the whirlwind, and that's where she died, alone and scared.
But why?
Because of me.
He's a monster? I don't get it.
So, are you scared? By the way.
Not his fault.
No, I think if you sent a child inadvertently into the mouth of a slide monster,
yeah,
I don't think that one's on you.
Also, look, she was smiling.
Yeah.
You know, maybe she was having a good time.
Maybe she slid off into Valhalla. Well, good on you, Cassidy. That was a disturbing story. I guess you hate water parks.
Or they love water parks. Want to keep people out.
That's a good.
Keep those lines.
That's
low,
good.
you know
Keep
what
those
I'm
lines
saying?
low. No, that's nice.
Plenty of tubes available on that lazy river.
Well, that does it for this episode of Are You Scared? As always, we wrap these up neat and nice.
I'm trying to think of a good water pun. Wet dreams. No, that's not. I don't know, man.
Well, let's just slide on out of here. How about
Yeah, that sounds good. Bye.
Whoa. Oh, there he goes. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know if you could really derail the story. It's about a water slide. Oh, there's a few of these that I haven't seen yet. Are you scared of the ocean bleeding? The fuck?
This video
Like being
contains
full
content
blood?
that some might find disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Today's video is sponsored by Mobile Premier League. Mobile Premier League, aka MPL, is an easy-to-use app featuring casual games you can play in a
MLP.
matter of time before it came to a necessary
Close.
and inevitable end.
What?
Enter into the scene, the patient or MPL website for Android to play your favorite games, compete, and start winning cash. Must be been a dangerous game.
But oil?
With spill after spill contaminating the ocean, it was only a matter of time before it came to a necessary and inevitable end. Enter into the scene, the patient yet inevitable truth of nature fighting back. In tonight's story, our narrator will find himself in the midst of that reckoning. I'm Ryan Bergara. This is Are You Scared? A show where I tell my friend Shane Madej
I've
the
never seen
internet's
this one.
scariest stories.
I don't think so.
Lock your doors, turn off the lights, and let's see if we can make it till the end of the night.
I'm pretty sure I have never seen this one.
Water. I still remember the day I saw the Arctic Ocean bleed. I see it every time I close my eyes, as if the memory is burned into the back of my eyelids. It's all so painfully vivid. The lights, the colors, the smells, the screams.
This person has got me, baby. Now that's how you start a story.
That's a
What does
hell of
that
a-
mean? The Arctic Ocean bleed? Huh?
I have no idea. He's serving up some tasty appetizers, and here's what I'm doing.
I'm looking at my fingers. I'm floating through the air like Yogi Bear smelling a picnic basket. This is a sumptuous story right off the bat. I'm excited to hear more from it. Sights, sounds, blood, the Arctic.
The screams.
The screams! If I hear screams, I'm buying a ticket.
They say there's an audio recording
I
of
don't know if
that
the Arctic
floating around
Ocean
on
is
the
like
internet.
inherently more
I can't
scary than
account
the
for
other
its
oceans.
authenticity, for I haven't had the courage to go looking.
I don't know. They're all kind of
However, I doubt it's anything even close to the real
equally
thing.
scary, I think.
Like if there was a recording, obviously, of whatever happened on this day, would you not go looking for it to verify, or would you not want to relive it?
No, I guess I'd steer clear of it.
I think I'd want it.
Yeah.
You know, you could show your friends and stuff, invite them over for Catan. Instead, I pull out my katana and I put on my little film and I watch.
Your little film.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I just think because it's so cold.
I will continue to decline the invitation.
I'm not as
Then I might have
like
to bring the party to you.
well traveled, maybe. I don't know.
The operation was doomed from the start. Its very conception was rooted in immorality. I knew that fact, yet chose to ignore it for obvious monetary reasons. Not a day goes by that I don't regret my decision.
Not a day goes
Climate
by.
change. That was what had made it all possible. Glaciers cracking and splitting, melting due to the heat, giving us access to vast reservoirs of hydrocarbons that just a decade ago had been completely inaccessible. Once it became evident that global warming was making the waters of the Arctic navigable,
a race began among multinational corporations to see who could extract the most oil. Isn't that the darkest irony you've ever heard of? These companies pay propagandists millions to deny the existence of climate change, and then they turn around and use the opportunities accorded by climate change to line their own greasy pockets. Sickening.
The greasy pockets.
Sounds uncomfortable.
Yucky. What's the saddest part of any story we've read so far?
I don't know. Why wouldn't you want your pockets to be moisturized?
See it happening.
Yeah,
Little
profit over
greasy.
everything, sure. Hey, that's what we do here
Hey,
at
dude.
Watcher.
Cash rules everything around me. Dollar bill, yo.
Okay.
But I guess I have no right to be too bitter about that. I was, after all, just another cog in the wheel, one who willingly took his place in the machine. In a way, everything that I went through there was divine punishment for my part in all of it. It happened at dusk, a beautiful one at that. The sun was a red ball sinking beneath the horizon.
Oil rigs
turning
are
the calm
fucking
waters
scary
into
to me.
liquid rust. I was leaning on my elbows
Think
against the
about,
dull
like,
yellow
a
railing of the
giant oil
gantry
rig.
just above and to the west of the
It's
drill
spooky.
room, drinking in the beauty of the evening. Cool winds were sheeting off the surface of the sea, making me shiver delightfully beneath the multiple layers of bright and warm clothing I had wrapped around me.
Well,
I'm just on.
It's
I'm
a
being
vivid
swept
image.
away
It's a
by
Yeah, it
vivid
seems like a
image.
pretty
I know this is
dangerous
going to be a
place to
horrific
be.
story, but in this
It's
one
really lovely.
brief moment, I am imagining myself just drinking in a delicious sunset.
A gantry?
Yeah, it's a fun word to say.
Whisper it to yourself as you caress your own cheek.
But imagine like falling off and like trying to like hold on to an oil rig. Like
And
there's
then-
something
Pretend that's
so
the Arctic wind, you know?
Yeah,
scary
the wind
about that.
across your face.
Gantry.
It was the most extraordinary oil rig ever built. And not simply because of its location, but also because it was set to be the deepest one in the world.
Like trying to hold
set
on
up
to
over
those
what had then seemed
support
to be
things in the
largest
water. I don't know.
reservoir
Something
in the
about that
world,
freaks me out.
as per our extensive seismic surveys. To its east loomed a large and wounded glacier. Shattered snow-capped slabs of ice that drifted in the waters between the glacier and the rig hinted at the thawing that had made the operation possible. It hadn't
Yeah,
been
you'd just
easy
be
to
dead
set it
anyways,
up.
I guess.
To drill
It'd be
so
freezing.
deep required a precision that had exhausted some of the sharpest minds in the world. But work had progressed nicely, albeit a little slowly. The platform was secure, and the derrick, the hulking metal support structure, had lowered the drill pipe into the water. A slow and laborious descent later, the drill sank its metal teeth into the ocean floor and began chewing its way over to the reservoir as we pumped lubricants down the drill pipe to keep things churning. Contrary, this is the opposite of what Bruce Willis says in Armageddon. This guy knows a lot about drilling.
Yeah. Drill, rig, derrick.
You know what a derrick is?
Yeah, it's a guy.
It's pretty good.
Thanks.
I like that.
Yeah.
Cheers
Got
to that
him.
one, brother.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
good.
of
That's
course.
good. That's good.
Absolutely.
That's the
Cheers.
first cheers of the season. Smooth sailing, as smooth as can be expected for work like this. And then things went wrong. Terribly, horribly wrong.
They dug into a devil.
What if they just, like, accidentally killed the devil? Like he was taking a bath, and
Yeah.
out of nowhere, just a... and he's just spinning around in his bathtub because the drill is just spinning his little devil body.
All the people in hell are like, yes! Now we can get a nacho bar!
Being one of the few people off shift who were not inside the living quarters, I was the first one to notice it. A sudden darkening of the water around the rig. For a moment, it seemed like the shadow of something immense was rising from the depths. Something alive.
Something.
I blinked. No, it wasn't that. No, it was a liquid, climbing upwards like a billowing cloud. Fast, the substance breached the surface and began spreading in a rough circle around the platform.
Oil?
Oh my God, what if it was like a fucking...
Like an oil daddy?
No,
What?
more like I was like a giant octopus or something.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was an oil daddy.
What's an oil daddy?
Sort of like a big daddy who's made out of oil.
The fuck are you talking about, Shane?
It looks like a big muscular guy, but
Just
he's made out
making
of
shit
oil.
up.
Like real oily.
Okay, my heart skipped a beat. It was bright red, thick,
Making things
and
up.
gleamed like blood under the dying light of the sun. I shook my head. No.
Should have just said Omi
I couldn't
Buzu.
think of it like that. It couldn't really be blood. Heart pounding, I reached for the radio at my belt to fire off a warning. I didn't get the chance to do that, because the very next moment, the The derrick let out a horrible groan.
Oh.
Just, oh. If this was in the Pixar Cars universe.
Yeah. Oh God, can you imagine that guy with Cars eyes?
All right, now they're gonna be annoying.
Just big googly. Well, that looked like the derrick had something else happening to it. I turned and watched in horror as the huge metal structure holding up the drill pipe began to bend, inwards and downwards, like an aluminum can being crumpled from the top, as if something deep within the ocean crust was pulling at the drill pipe from the bottom, causing the derrick to give way under pressure. Another metallic groan, followed by shouts of fear and panic. It sounds like we're dealing with some kind of big sea.
What if it like the camera zoomed
Pulling down
out
the
right
derrick.
above the oil derrick, and
yeah, it's
then like
pulling
a
down the
giant
derrick.
eye
Unless that's the
opens,
devil down there. Odds on devil? What?
and the oil derrick was just like
25%?
drilling
Yeah,
into
just
a
the
big
devil
eye,
walking through hell.
and then it just ended. That'd be sick.
Oh?
Huh?
Does it turn on a light somewhere?
It seems to be attached to something. What's that noise? Alarms began to blare as men in orange jumpsuits and hard hats scurried out of their stations and tried to make sense of what had gone wrong. I began making my way towards the stairs at the far end of the gantry. My legs trembled. My heart pulsed in rhythm with the alarms. I tried not to look off to the
Giant
side. Something
monster.
about that blood-like liquid pooling around the rig scared me something awful. I didn't want to think about what it might have to do with what was happening on the rig.
I like this guy being like, there's just some quality to the ocean turning to blood that didn't sit right with me.
There's something about a metallic, non-human structure bleeding that really gave me pause, and I don't know what it was. I had reached the small landing at the top of the stairs when the derrick creaked one last time and snapped with the deafening crash of metal against metal. It sounded like ringing bells.
So is the whole thing
Gigantic
going
ones,
over?
Dozens of them, all at once. Thick beams of steel broke free of the structure and began smashing their way down to the platform as the metallic wires connected to the drill pipe started unspooling at a blinding rate. Some men ran for cover. Others, near the hoisting machinery, tried and failed to stop the drill pipe from being sucked down to the ocean floor, even as broken beams crashed down all around them.
No one's gonna stop that drill pipe.
Yeah, I know.
This thing's gotta be huge.
Also, there's no way I'm trying to save the machinery. If
No,
this is
I don't give
happening.
a shit.
I don't give a fuck about the
I'm
machinery.
getting on a little rowboat and being like, see you later, everybody. I'm just gonna keep rowing until I'm out of this blood.
I stumbled and fell back on my ass, and my hands scrambled to push me backwards and away from this nightmare. Reaching the middle of the gantry, I drew my knees to my chest.
Gantry?
Clamped my hands on my hard hat and cowered on the floor. Alarms rang. Beams fell. Men screamed. An eternity passed. Then, shockingly, a quiet descended on the platform. Shivering, I poked my head
Giant
out from
hands.
my cocoon. Alarms and
Erupts from
machine
the
tension
ocean.
switched off. Remnants of the shattered derrick stood silently, looking like a narrow iron cage with a hole punched through at the top. Jagged bits of metal pointing in every conceivable direction. The drill pipe was gone. Not a trace remained. I pulled myself onto my knees and crawled back to the stairs, trembling as cold sweat chilled my spine. Out on the main drill floor, no one screamed anymore. No one moved. Looks of fear were exchanged, a realization passing from one person to the next. We had just witnessed something unnatural, something unfathomable, and we were all too terrified to talk about it, lest we make it all real. Miraculously, no one was hurt. I hoisted myself up on my feet, suddenly ashamed that I had behaved like such a coward. What a pathetic display. Those placed under me were running helter-skelter, trying to prevent it all from turning into a complete disaster while I was cowering up there like a baby. Taking a deep breath, I started descending the stairs, my boots ringing off the narrow metal steps. I was more than halfway down when the sound of rumbling thunder rolled around the platform, which began to shudder. Metal flooring trembled. Glass windows of the drill room rattled against their frames, followed by a low and prolonged groan, as if the rig itself was moaning in pain.
We were right.
We were right.
Yeah.
The rig was
in
going.
pain.
I clenched my jaw, wrapped my arms tight around the railing. Then, another sound. the roar of an ocean rushing through a narrow tunnel. My jaw dropped as the hole previously occupied by the drill pipe erupted. The bright red liquid I had observed around the rig exploded out like lava from the top of a cinder cone volcano.
What the fuck?
Higher and higher it rose, a thick column of ruddy fluid, cresting the derrick, going even higher before smashing down. It rained down on the drill floor and splashed my face. I whimpered as I recognized the coppery taste. It is so weird that blood tastes like that.
Yeah, man.
I've often heard it described as tastes like pennies, which I always thought was weird because that means you're sticking pennies in your mouth.
You never stuck a penny in your mouth? As a kid, you never like got a penny in your mouth?
No.
I mean, I don't go out of my way to eat pennies, but I've definitely, even if you haven't tasted pennies, if you have a penny, I don't have a lot of pennies anymore. I want to find some more pennies. They're so hard to spend. Nobody wants your pennies.
I'll wait till you circle back around.
So,
yeah, what the
all
fuck?
right, well, let me tell you something. Pennies smell like blood tastes. And they taste like blood tastes. And they probably taste like blood smells.
This couldn't be happening, I thought.
Yeah, not just pennies. I remember like batteries I would put in my mouth when I was a kid.
The drill floor once again.
Now
was a bed of
knowing what
chaos.
would happen if you ate a battery,
Fountain of
I'm like,
blood
wow, that was
falling
really
back
fucking
down
stupid.
onto the derrick with such force and in such volume that it began to tip the derrick over. Men were crying, scrambling for cover, their boots splashing in blood. The derrick tore free of its foundation and came crashing down
Yeah,
to
like
the
if you
ground
suck
in
on like a
flurry of
AA battery, it
sparks,
tastes
ramming
weird.
into offices and engines and mud tanks, starting a dozen different fires. I saw men get crushed
Do
under
not
the
do
falling
that.
metal,
It's bad.
get impaled
Do not suck on a
jagged
battery.
metal beams. It's safe to say that that miraculously no one got hurt. Bit of an update. I guess when you're looking at your friends being turned into a kebab, you're like, yeah, I think it's over. It was the end. We were going to die. I bit back a sob. And then it got worse, much worse, because that's when the screams began. Dear God, those screams. I have never been a religious man, have never believed in God or the supernatural. Not until I heard those screams. Because when they flooded out of that hole, I knew that I was listening to the very sounds of hell. Nails on a chalkboard
Fucking
doesn't
drilled
even
into
begin
hell.
to describe them. They were shrill and loud, louder than anything I had ever heard. Full of unimaginable
It's like a take on that
anguish,
Russian hole to
thousands
hell
upon
story,
thousands of
but just with an
voices
oil
slathered
derrick.
on one another, screaming for their lost souls. There was a terrifying musical quality to them, each scream a discordant note in an unholy song. Higher and higher and higher they rose, like an orchestra reaching for a crescendo that never came. My head
Higher and
hurt,
higher.
and the skin just below my ears was warm and wet. I knew I was bleeding out of my ears. I should have gone deaf hundreds of decibels ago, but something unnatural was protecting my hearing, while shredding it to ribbons at the same time. The contradiction threatened to drive me insane. My chest tightened, like it had been lashed with thick iron bands, slowly squeezing the life out of me. Tears burned my eyes, and my heart felt like it was sinking into a void. All happiness was ending. All the light in the world was fading. And all that was left was pain. An eternity of suffering in the deepest bowels of hell. This sounds unpleasant.
Yeah, not my cup of tea.
I gotta say it though, maybe I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, I would have liked it more if it was like
There's
about a
small
monster
part
or
of
like
my
something
brain, maybe
weird.
a little bit larger than I'd admit. I would like to hear what this noise sounds like.
Actually, you know what this reminds me of?
And
The
not only
Flesh
hear
Pit.
it, but experience.
We'll watch a movie
what his
or a thing about the
experience
Flesh
is.
Pit
Just for
after, a
5
video
seconds
about
where
the
I was like,
Flesh Pit.
"Ooh, that was fucked up," you know?
I think we'd all love
Which
to
is
experience something
exactly
you know,
that, I think.
large and incomprehensible and horrifying, with the guarantee that we'd be okay. I'd love to witness some sort of grand disaster from afar. I think it's fun to be reminded that you're little, that you're a tiny little speck, and that things can be much bigger and scarier. And you know,
it's true.
It's fun.
It's almost a liberating feeling.
Yes.
Because it's like, well, I have no control here.
What am I?
What am I? Just a guy bleeding out of my ears.
Right.
I stuffed my fingers into my ears. It didn't seem to help. The screams just got louder, even grew harsher, offended at the thought that I would try and shut them out. Mad with rage and fear and hopelessness, I slammed my head into the railing. Hard. The world spun around me as blood trickled out of a gash on my forehead, but the urge to harm myself had lessened. Some of the others hadn't fared as well as me. I saw one man running across the platform, boots splashing in the blood before he hurled himself off the rig and into the sea below.
Why?
Another slumped against the wall of the drill room, eyes clawed out, cheeks stained with blood. More corpses littered the area, but there were some who were still alive. One who knelt and stared at the sky, mouth open, eyes vacant. One who was curled up like a baby.
Wouldn't it be
sobbing
louder in the
hysterically.
water?
Sounds like me and you at the end there.
Yeah.
Just you checking shit out in the sky, just.
Yeah, yeah.
And me just curled up like a little baby, you know? There's screaming coming from hell, and there's a blood geyser in front of you, so it's like.
It's a real scene, man.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you would say to me.
Check that shit out.
Check that shit out. Oh. No. Just
You're crying like a
curled up like
baby.
a little baby. I didn't want to end up like them, and I knew the only way to prevent that would be to stop these screams. I bolted for the drill room and found more corpses amidst the machinery. My eyes shot towards the table in the corner, a stack of papers placed on top of it, a stack held together by a metal clip. With trembling hands, I yanked the clip free, straightened it, and jammed it into my ear. I screamed, and for a second my voice was one with those gushing out of that hole. I pushed the clip as far as I could until the pain threatened to knock me unconscious, until the sounds assaulting my ears lessened, became unbalanced. I repeated the process with my other ear, and this time I did black out. Oh, that is so...
Yeah, man.
It's very vivid.
You do that in
Yeah,
World of Horror, I
it's
think.
Sort of a visceral description.
Visceral, that's the word I was
Just
looking
imagining
for.
just a. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Until
like
you
poke
literally
your own
pop
eardrum open.
like a water balloon.
Is that how that works? Is that what it's like in there?
I think it's a structure.
Yeah.
And
there's a hammer. And
Yeah, there's a curse
Yeah,
that
you
does it
can
to you in
pop
World of
it, though.
I
Horror.
remember in grade school they'd be like, "This is what's in the ear," and I was like, "I don't give a fuck. Go to hell."
When I came to, night
Yeah,
had
shit.
fallen, and I had found peace. My head felt like a hammer was pounding against the inside of my skull, yet my skin tingled with pleasure. Silence enveloped me like a mother's warm embrace. Tears of joy pricked my eyes. No screams, no sound of any sort, just blissful quiet. After savoring the silence for a moment, I stumbled out of the room. Complete loss of hearing had affected my balance, as expected. The pillar of blood rising into the sky had retreated back into the hole, and I could clearly see fires raging across the platform, and could feel the heat wash over my face. No one was left alive. None that I could see.
For a second there, it sounded peachy. I woke up. Things were fucking chill as hell. Dilly dilly.
Yeah.
Fires everywhere. Heat. Are we in hell? Did they done go down a hell hole?
Oh, maybe. I think he just woke up on a burning platform and was like, oh, fuck.
That could be, yeah. I like the idea, though, that the whole thing got sucked down into hell. And Devil's there like, "Yeah, I got you."
I didn't know how it would end, whether it would be the fire that would burn me out of existence or the waves that would snuff out my life. But I knew that the end was coming. No help could possibly arrive in time. I squeezed my eyes shut and prayed that I wouldn't have to hear
The story
those
could have been
screams
so
ever
much
again.
cooler.
I should have kept
What a
my eyes
fucking lame
open,
ending.
for if I had, I would have noticed the rescue helicopter flying towards the rig. Someone had called in for help before dying. A single beam of light in the darkest day of
Like
my
there should have
life.
been like a monster or something.
So,
How the fuck would they get help?
are you scared?
Tight. So he's good.
He's good, he's alive.
Nice.
Can't hear for shit, but he's alive.
He's alive.
Yeah, it could
That's
have been so
fucking
much
cool,
cooler.
man.
So, solidly written, excellent flowery prose.
I love it. It felt very Lovecraftian. Maybe
Yeah.
that's just the Arctic of it
No.
all, but just pure, sound is something you deal with every
Was
day.
not.
But this sound is so extreme; it makes people go crazy. Love it. A lot of fun.
Okay, so if you like that story, that was written by Bikram Man, and his Reddit username is Mandark. So you can find his story. there. Also,
Mandark.
be sure to check out the link in the description. That's a link to his book, Unclean Spirits, Horrifying Stories, which
Here's a link to that video if you want to check out Watcher. My name is Mandark. What was the guy's name from Dexter?
If an underground organism of unfathomable size were unearthed in the United States,
Mandark?
you might
Was it actually
expect
Mandark?
widespread panic at the horrifying discovery.
The same guy.
Or expect the US government to block off the cosmic terror from civilians. You might not expect the entity to be turned into
You guys
a
ever
theme
heard of this
park
before? It's
marketed
awesome.
towards all ages. But that's what happened with the thankfully fictional Mystery Flesh Pit National Park. The name given to a creature of indeterminate size and origin that was nonetheless turned into a tourist attraction. Mystery Flesh Pit is an ongoing multimedia narrative project by creator Trevor Roberts, who you can follow and support in the links below. The story of the pit is told through flyers,
ultra-reality
advertisements,
thing.
and posters that rebrand the horrifying life form as a relaxing
It's a giant
family
monster
getaway.
you can like
And it's this upbeat
go
language
into.
around
It's a
something
national
so
park,
blatantly terrifying that
but it's like
makes
a
the Mystery
huge
Flesh Pit
subterranean
project
monster.
so amusing and so unsettling. Just the sort of thing to cover at this spooky time of year. But since venturing into the darkness of an unknown organism is a
It's
little
pretty cool.
frightening to do on one's own, Edge will be joining me for this entry.
I don't know who
He makes
Edge
great
is.
content about prehistoric life, unique modern animals, and bizarre cryptids, so he's just the person to help investigate this mysterious organism. Now let's begin our descent.
Unearthed accidentally in the early 1970s, the Mystery Flesh Pit, also known as the Permian Basin superorganism, is located in West Texas. Discovered by oil workers, the first tours of the pit were given by James Jackson,
Look at
a
this guy.
small-time oil man and showman. The Mystery Flesh Pit was then further studied and reinforced by Anodyne Inc., a deep mining corporation who opened the park as a tourist attraction in 1976, with assurances it was perfectly safe. We know how corporations are. In selling the park to the public, Anodyne downplayed the horrifying nature of the pit itself, creating a friendly cartoon mascot, Caver Coop, who
love
assured
that guy.
families the pit was nothing
Kind of looks
to be
like
afraid
Andy
of.
Capp.
The attraction
or,
was later absorbed into the national park
the
system
grilling
in the early
bad guy.
1980s, which led to the Permian Basin superorganism becoming
Looks like a cow
further
right here. You see it?
normalized.
You guys see this cow? What do you think this means? A red circle. Here. The fuck is that? Why is that there?
Surprising absolutely no one, thousands of tourists regularly exploring the inside of an unknown organism would eventually prove to be a bad idea, as the infamous 2007 disaster would prove. But that's a story we'll get to later.
For now, let's try to piece together the material the author has given us to try and understand the pit's biology. Like so many
Bone.
aspects of the pit, the more visceral reality of the organism was glossed over with clinical language by the professionals who first studied it. Since an organism of this size defied conventional science, numerous new disciplines were founded to help understand it. Geobiology is the term used for how the organism interacts with its environment. Looking at this early map, you can see the life form possesses musculoskeletal, nervous, limbic, and vascular systems similar to traditional life, at least on the top layers. This cross-section of the pit, however, might just be a small fragment of a larger, more complex organism. How large? Data collected from a series of boreholes shown in this diagram suggests that in some places the organism extends over 30 kilometers below the Earth's surface. For reference, the Marianas Trench is only 11 kilometers deep. Indeed, the author suggests that the pit may well extend into the Earth's mantle, with some of the imaginary scientists implying that the organism may be native to the interior of the planet, having merely surfaced to the upper tectonic plates for unknown reasons. And despite public assurances to the contrary,
Like, there's just
evidence
giant
that people
things in the
working
middle of
behind
the planet.
scenes long understood the superorganism to be dangerous. At one point in this fictional alternate history, the US government launched an investigation into the feasibility of using nuclear weapons to kill the life form. Although only the cover of this report was ever photographed, the conclusion seemed to be a resounding no. What made the
That'd be kinda
Permian
sick,
Basin superorganism so potentially catastrophic? The answers may lie deeper within.
In the early days of the pit,
It makes
a
me think of
mission
like
called
some
Project
Warcraft
Freefall
shit,
was
like
planned
World
to chart
Engine,
the
like the
organism
planet
to
is
a
actually
greater
just like a
depth than ever before.
being.
A joint effort between the US government and Russian scientists, the expedition involved a
Or
six-person
some
team
fucking elder god
lowered
or
into
something.
the pit via specialized vehicle. Over a period of 2 weeks, the pod descended down the dark, wet, scooshy pit, reaching regions that had never been explored before. At last, the probe drilled through a dense layer of lower cartilage and entered an unknown region of blue tissue. A single-person pod was lowered into this opening. The Russian pilot described a reflective and prismatic environment of which we only have a single image from this onboard computer. When the pod was raised back to the surface, it was heavily damaged, and the pilot was missing. The researchers concluded an attack from an unknown organism was the likely cause. Project Freefall makes it clear that the organic section of the mystery flesh pit is merely a portion of the life form, and other regions are unlike anything in the natural world.
It's not
It
even like
also made it clear
carbon-based
people
life form at a
aren't
certain
alone
point.
in the pit.
Even above the deeper layers, which weren't available to the public, hostile
Yo, they got a Burger
wildlife
King
was
in there.
frequently encountered.
And a Hard Rock
Large
Cafe.
crustacean-like organisms were spotted as early as the first explorations, which this early sketch shows. In typical mystery flesh pit fashion, however, the corporate higher-ups turned these terrifying life forms into part of the marketing. Wildlife safety brochures were handed out to visitors, explaining the exciting anatomical fauna that dwelled in the pit.
Imagine going to
and
the
how
Burger
avoid
King
getting
in some
eaten.
giant monster's
At the foundation
ass,
of the pit's ecosystem,
eating like some
playing a role similar to bacteria
hamburgers
in the bodies
in
of
there. It's
regular-sized
kinda weird.
animals, were macrobacteria.
Yeah,
Unlike
there's all sorts of
regular
giant
bacteria
old
you
god
can only
stuff in
spot
there.
under a microscope. Macrobacteria were multicellular Goliaths that could reach lengths of 12 feet or 4 meters across. This educational chart produced by the Park Services showcases the various types of macrobacteria and the other bizarre species that dwell in this imaginary Permian Basin superorganism. We won't be able to cover them all, but one notable species is the mesogaleal tridecapod, an insect-like organism that gets its name from its 13 legs. As this faded, wild about nature infographic will tell you, these pseudovertebrates are almost the size of humans and aren't technically vampires, as this guide will assure you, although they do feed off the pit and look like something out of my nightmares. In other areas of the pit, there were sightings of other, more dangerous species, and even
Like, what the fuck is
rumors of
that?
human-like life forms called merrowfolk, which Anodyne Inc. strongly denied. They maintained the Mystery Flesh Pit was just like any other national park, and anyone who mysteriously vanished just didn't read their brochure carefully enough.
With the Permian Basin superorganism so hostile to human life, excavating it was a challenge. A challenge that began with finding people to staff it. As this oddly hilarious park ranger recruitment bulletin suggests, however, with the right benefits and incentives, Anodyne Inc. was in fact able to find people willing to enlist in the Mystery Flesh Pit Park Ranger program. What kinds of jobs did this entail?
The Marrow
Well,
folk.
why not become a park trail engineer? This anxiety-inducing position involved using compact stent frames and other highly specialized tools to create new pathways within the pit. To be a park trail engineer required extensive knowledge of caving, geology, and macrobiology, as attacks from local
That weapon looks
wildlife
sick.
were apparently common. For personal protection, the laser scope anatomical environmental multi-tool was the most reliable
Like what they
defense,
used at the end of
intended to
Akira.
blast new paths within the mystery flesh pit. This portable tool, an example of which is on display here, was frequently used to ward off aggressive life forms. To more safely traverse the pit's interior, Anodyne Inc. developed the Internal Anatomy Vehicle, or IAV, a vehicle that could traverse the slickest and steepest of routes.
Pretty sick.
Its maneuverability came in part from a rotating mechanical joint that connected the front of the vehicle to the midsection. As tourism increased, the larger Ventarial Environment Excursion Vehicle was developed, which we know from schematics used a set of twin counter-oriented screws for propulsion. These safari vessels could seat up to 8 park guests and take them deep into the pits with supposed safety.
Supposed being the key word here, as a mock-up of an incident report tells us that vehicles were bent, melted, crushed, dented, or dissolved at least on some occasions. Maybe traversing the unknown depths of a giant
Like a
organism
pill-shaped
isn't a
fucking
good idea
vehicle.
after all. Well, as Caver Dave might say, that's not the right attitude for exploring the funderground. For adventurous park guests, the opportunity of camping on natural, unreinforced trails was possible with the interventarial tent, shown here in this diagram. Unlike traditional tents, this collapsible, multi-sided device could endure the crushing shifts and deadly wildlife of the pit while campers slept, at least most of the time. When things went wrong, emergency trail phones were one way to reach the park staff. Called lighthouses by seasoned hikers, these subterranean telecommunication devices were highly advanced for the 1970s. And indeed, the study of the Permian Basin superorganism led to numerous technological breakthroughs.
One of many lucrative results from the development of the fictional pit were tremendous advances in the field of computer science. In the early 1980s, Anodyne began to release computers made of nervous tissue taken from the Permian Basin superorganism. With 4 terabytes of organic tissue storage memory, these machines were extremely popular.
That's
an even more
actually
well-known
kinda cool.
product exported from the mystery flesh pit was amniotic
Vitasalve.
ballast, a miraculous fluid from deep within the pit, branded as Vidyabum in advertisements such as this one. The product could cure various illnesses and was almost certainly safe to use. But the most notable service Anodyne offered was access to the mystery flesh pit itself. Aside from hiking, tourists paid for access to the amniotic thermal springs.
Be cool if it just like woke
the
up.
springs had strong effects
Like got up.
on visitors who bathed in them, including making
Yeah.
their skin healthier and giving them a euphoric sensation,
What the
as long as they
fuck?
could take their mind off the fact they were bathing in an unknown liquid. The true focus of the pit for most visitors, however, was the lower visitor center, a gateway into the deep that took 8 years to
Burger
construct,
King.
with restrooms, a gift shop, and even restaurants. The lower visitor center was the hub of the national park. Was it a
What if
good
they serve
idea to
meat made from
suspend
the
a
meat of the
several-ton
pit?
building on steel cables in the middle of the pit? Anodyne Inc. soon found out.
At last, we've come to the 2007 disaster and all that follows. On July 4th, 2007, due to Anodyne's negligence, something as simple as heavy
Yeah, I'll have a
rain
meat
and
pit,
a faulty
double
water pump
patty.
caused a section of the pit to flood to unsafe levels. The result was a catastrophe most had never imagined. The Permian Basin superorganism began to wake up. Imagine waking up from a long nap
shit.
to find hundreds of tiny bugs had built a miniature hotel in your throat.
Yeah.
You'd be pretty mad. At 9:52 p.m., the lifeform began a choking response due to the flooding, causing the entire lower visitor center to be crushed and
What?
swallowed deeper into its gullet. But this was just the beginning. According to an incident report, the creature then started to surface, with people living all around West Texas witnessing limbs of the superorganism rising from the ground, the scale of which is captured in this impressionistic painting from a survivor. And then, the creature returned to its slumber, likely lulled back to sleep by
I wanna
a
see, like, a
mysterious
giant arm.
contingency measure redacted from the incident report. In the wake of the disaster, Anodyne Inc. was dissolved, and the park was finally closed to the public, with people perhaps finally realizing that hiking inside
Guy
a
is, like,
giant
the same
creature
color
isn't
as
such a
the
good
flesh.
idea after all. The author imagines that the region around the pit has now become a ghost town, but behind fences, some are still monitoring it. In the present of this alternate timeline, the Permian Basin superorganism is now kept under constant surveillance, but who knows when it might awaken once more. There's a lot more lurking in the pit you can read about online, and you can follow and support Trevor Roberts by using the links in the description below, or by purchasing something from the Mystery Flesh Pit gift shop. And special thanks to Edge for helping me archive this mysterious organism.
Yeah, pretty sick.
I've been destined from the channel Edge. I cover all sorts of topics in natural history, whether it's the extinct beasts of
Are those
times
dinosaurs
long
friends?
since past, the bizarre and sticky world of the living, or the extraordinary, dark places our minds go to in the supernatural or cryptozoological. If you like Curious Archive, Ben G. Thomas, or Trey the Explainer, you'll enjoy me and my content as well. Follow the links to my channel in the description and comments section below.
And as always,
I might
thanks
check out
for
their channel. It
watching.
looks pretty
If
cool,
you enjoyed
actually.
this entry, please lend your support.
This is Creative Archive. We watched a lot of their videos. I really like their channel. They're pretty good. Or Curious Archive. I'll watch a few more things. Da, 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 da. What else do we have here? Oh yeah, I've been meaning to check out that guy's channel. I'll subscribe to it real quick. I'm just gonna watch one more thing. Don't know what. A little shorter. Don't know what. Carrollton bus disaster? What the hell's that? Everything's like 20 minutes long that I want to watch right now. I have the attention span for it. An idea. There we go. Watch some Sir Spooks.
In this incredibly strange video posted to Reddit by a user named Blonde with a Scary House, we watch a piece of home security camera
Good name.
footage as the uploader can be seen getting ready for the day and checking out her outfit in the mirror, something that many of us do on a regular basis. She probably thought that this day was going to be just like any other, but as it turns out, that's not the case at all. It's only after she leaves the room and heads out for the day when we can see what's so terrifying about this
Blonde
video.
with a scary house. I hear someone's fucking fire alarm battery going off. It's like, dude, just fix the fucking thing. Get a battery.
The uploader's bedroom door proceeds to open all by itself despite the fact that the homeowner exited the bedroom beforehand. In the comment section, the uploader says that she also does not have...
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
A Reddit user by the name of StayRB89 posted a video to the Ghost subreddit in November of 2021 stating that what we are about to watch is a short clip that was filmed on his phone, showcasing a video that was taken inside a pub that his grandparents used to own. For the first couple of seconds, it looks like a regular video of an ordinary pub, but in just a couple of seconds, we are about to find out that it was anything but ordinary.
Anything.
Although it might be a little difficult to see initially, if you zoom in and slow the footage down by just a little bit, you should be able to make out what appears to be some sort of strange man on all fours, peeking out behind a corner, staring at the camera with a sense of unblinking unease.
I did not see that.
Understandably, upon noticing this, a ton of commenters were left absolutely creeped out by this mysterious man lurking in the uploader's grandparents' pub. In the comment section of the post, the uploader says that his grandmother thinks that the pub was haunted, stating that this video was taken in the very early hours of the morning when nobody else should have been there. Usually, ghosts can be some of the scariest things in the universe, but I think we can all agree that it would be much more comforting if this was a paranormal entity in the pub rather than some strange, creepy man crawling around and staring at patrons all day long. Either way, it's terrifying to think about.
Is it though? I'm just chilling.
This Spanish TikTok user named Paula Marquez is recording a video to tell her fans a strange and eerie story. She says that recently, a security guard that works at her mom's workplace was having an ordinary day on the job when, in the middle of the shift, he thought he heard some strange noises. Upon further investigation, he became fairly certain that these noises were coming from the mysterious folkloric legend of La Llorona, also known as the Weeping Woman. La Llorona is a ghostly entity that is said to roam around waterfront areas, mourning her drowned children. Luckily, the security guard in question did happen to film the incident while on the job. The following is what he was able to record.
Why is it like fucking 3P? You record this on like a spy camera?
Although the video's quality is undoubtedly quite blurry, it is clear that off in the distance stands a woman dressed in all white, while loud and deeply haunting screams can be heard coming from her. Because of this bizarre encounter, the security guard as well as many commenters believe that he had a real-life encounter with none other than La Llorona herself. Obviously nothing can be confirmed, but the description of the weeping woman and the figure showcased in this video definitely do match up. If this is indeed the case, then this security guard certainly got off lucky.
You think?
A man named Chris runs a popular YouTube channel within the horror community called Urbex Hill, which, if you're a regular viewer of my channel, will undoubtedly sound quite familiar to you. And that's because several of his eerie explorations have been featured on my videos in the past. In October of 2021, Chris uploaded a video where he ventured out to the Molly Stark Sanatorium located in Ohio, which is said to be haunted. As always with a video on his channel, the footage he records is definitely quite creepy all throughout, as he takes us room to room in the creepy sanatorium. But as unsettling as the building is as a whole, nothing overtly scary happens. For a while, at least. At one point during the exploration, Chris is walking down a long and dark corridor, which for many would be their worst nightmare. Chris, however, is up for the challenge. As you're about to see in a second, perhaps Chris made the wrong decision to venture deeper.
Place looks fucking weird.
What the fuck is that? Yo, do you see that shit? Yo. What the fuck? Yo. What? Yo, what the
The fuck?
crazy.
Although it may be hard to see, look close enough and you should be able to make out what appears to be a strange ghostly apparition keeping Chris company in the dark corridor. At one point, you can also see the figure's arm swaying a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It looks fake.
A couple of minutes later, Chris makes his way out of the building to call it a day, and it's certainly hard to blame him. Good thing Chris got out of there as soon as he did, otherwise who knows what could have happened to him. One thing's for sure, it probably wouldn't have been anything good. Signs and Signals is a smaller YouTube channel that also focuses on abandoned and haunted building exploration style content. In the past, the crew behind the channel have explored some genuinely terrifying places, but nothing could prepare them for this particular night. In October of 2021, the camera crew heads on out to a church that just so happens to be very haunted. The over 20-minute video is jam-packed with tons of creepy things, and the first of many things happens just about 9 minutes into the exploration, when the uploader static cam begins to display something strange.
You know you want to do something? Come on. We here, we waiting. You got a whole crowd watching you, bro.
What
Come on,
the
do
fuck?
something. Show yourself. Do something.
Do something. It's beat up by a ghost.
You see what I'm saying?
That sounded like it was from back there too.
Oh, we got that.
If it was back there, we definitely got it.
Come on. Come on, yeah, do something else. What's up? This thing's making me pissed
Come on, motherfucker, come on.
Then a
Yo,
couple of
Pyro.
minutes later, the crew are heading inside of
Thank
another
you for that
room,
4 months, dude. I
all
appreciate
while they are
that.
shrouded in near total darkness and silence, surely adding to their sense of unease. But all of a
Speaking of
sudden,
which,
something scares the videographer so much that he
appreciate all the
actually
subs,
falls to
everybody.
the ground. Take a look.
we kind of had a big drop off, but it's also because of all the gift subs. But
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's just
if you like the channel and you want to support,
I don't care.
does help out.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! I just got punched by a ghost.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Luckily,
Oh
the
my
videographer is
God.
able to brush himself off, and amazingly is able to continue on with the investigation despite what just happened to him. They then come to a room that one of the men was in beforehand, and if you look just out of the corner of your eye, you should be able to see something quite chilling. A little bit later on, before they are able to pack their things and head home for the night, they are in for one last bone-chilling scare. Look at this.
What the f was that, dude?
What?
You didn't hear that, man?
What'd you hear? What'd you hear?
You didn't hear that whisper, dude? Right in my ear, dude.
I didn't hear it.
It was just like
I heard a thump over there.
Yeah, what the hell is that? Dude, get
Let's get stuff. Get your light.
What?
Get your light. Get your light.
A mysterious voice can be heard whispering what sounds like your mind before multiple chairs move around all by themselves. After this, the crew members decide to leave the building, which I would say was for the best. I'd also say it's a safe bet to assume that these guys will not be venturing back to this church for a second investigation. And that was 5 scary videos to avoid watching at night. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then subscribe for more scary content. Also, be sure to join my new Patreon for some incredible perks. My name is Sir Spooks.
Incredible.
All
All right, that was Sir Spooks. Here's a link to that channel if you want to check it out. All right, I'm gonna